What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about when will we see Horizon Forbidden West's gameplay. So I want to try and do a prediction video, trying to talk about Horizon going into 2021. I know I had said, I want to do a series where I talk about a lot of different games going into next year and what can we expect from them, whether they're games that do exist, don't exist, all that stuff. It's Horizon's turn. I love talking about Horizon. Horizon is... it's not my number one most anticipated game. I actually did a video on that. I think Hogwarts Legacy probably is, but Horizon is literally right there. I am so excited. The original Horizon isn't even like my favorite PlayStation exclusive ever, but I'm almost more excited for Forbidden West than I am like God of War Ragnarok. Almost. But I am super excited for this game. And, I want to just talk about, when could we see a little bit more of it? Because, we've talked about the release date. We've talked about what I think is kind of going on behind the scenes. Like, is this game being pushed? When will this game actually come out? And we can talk about that because I think in order to talk about gameplay, we need to kind of figure out when the game may release so we can kind of go backwards. At least that's how I tend to think about it. Really quickly, before I get too far into this stuff, if you guys do like this stuff, and I will be, by the way, covering Horizon a ton, like leading into it when the game comes out, all that stuff. If you guys like that, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on. And if you super like my content, you haven't subscribed to my second channel, if you guys want to, Podcast Now Plus is its name. You can look it up on YouTube, or you can click the link in the description below. I only do one video a day over there, so if you think I do too much here, maybe you guys would like that stuff. Again, Podcast Now Plus is its name. All right, so again, I think it's important to talk about when the game could come out, because if we don't know that, we can't really say with gameplay. I want to skip to the end of the story here, though, for people that say, well, you always take like 15 minutes to get to the point. You could argue, but, I said in a video, I think like 2 or so weeks ago, PlayStation needs a state of play in January or February. I think they need a state of play early in 2021 because they have a lot to do. Now, like, we don't know when Horizon comes out. We don't know when Gran Turismo comes out. We don't know when God of War Ragnarok comes out. We don't know when any game, like Ratchet and Clank, we technically don't know that release date. The only game we know is Returnal. Now, I'm a big fan of Returnal. I'm going to be getting that game day one. I cannot wait for that game. Housemarque's game, right? I'm really pumped. But for that to be the only game that we know the release date of going into 2021 is not necessarily a good thing. Now, Ratchet and Clank was supposed to be a launch day game, and it got like internally delayed. So that's fine. I have no problem with that. But like, that game is coming soon. The game is, and I keep saying this, and I will say it till the end of time. The game was delayed. The game was supposed to come out in spring 2021. Now the game is coming out in fall 2021. Again, that's fine. Give them more time. I mean, if we've learned anything from Cyberpunk, it's give them as much time as they need, especially an open world game like that. You don't want the game to come out and be just a catastrophic failure. The game needs to work. The game needs to run. Okay, that's not an attack on Cyberpunk. It's just things that we've kind of learned in the past year, where it's like, if the game's not ready, do not put the game out. Okay, so I'm not advocating that they put this game out unfinished, but for gameplay, all right, well, let's say the game comes out, because they are positioning themselves rather nicely. I think you have Ratchet and Clank, you have Kena Bridge of Spirits, right? You have Returnal, and you probably have a few others I'm probably just overlooking or completely forgetting. And those are your games in like the first half of this year. Not bad. I mean, Ratchet and Clank is kind of the only big gun, but when you go into the fall, well, here's the thing too. The Halo Infinite is most likely coming out fall of 2021. Okay, most likely. So you're gonna need a game to combat it. Now, Horizon, actually steps up rather nicely as that game. By the way, I don't think God of War comes out. I know they said 2021. I think it will be delayed till 2022. Okay, just kind of an internal theory that you guys should just know as I'm talking about this stuff. But I think Horizon looks really nice in that September, October, November period. Their fall, their holiday game. If they don't have Spider-Man 2, if they don't have God of War Ragnarok, Horizon would be that game that pushes PlayStation units out there in the fall. And then you could have God of War sell it in the spring. You could have Spider-Man 2, just completely dominate the fall following, right? Fall of 2022. So that's why I think Horizon comes out. Again, like the state of play thing, I think that's the perfect time. So again, kind of skipping to the end of the story, when would we see gameplay? I think if they do a state of play, it would be perfect. It'd be absolutely perfect. Because again, there's a lot to show. They have to talk about all the release dates for these games. There's still, and we've even heard, now, okay, like Silent Hill rumors aside, we have heard rumors that there's even more that Sony can announce that they're just not announcing because they're holding it for Microsoft. Like, Microsoft hasn't really done anything, and Sony's like, all right, well, if they're not saying anything, why would we, kind of surprise people? I mean, I guess you could look at it as a negative way, but why would we let the cat out of the bag when we can hold on to it to combat them, right? If they say, hey, we have Elder Scrolls 6 to show, and it's an Xbox exclusive, Well, if Sony's already done all of their stuff, well, they have nothing to say, hey, don't forget about us. You know what I mean? So, like, I understand that strategy. And by the way, I don't think Horizon Forbidden West falls under that strategy because Horizon has already announced. Horizon was very clearly, by the way, because it was the game announced in that first state of play, okay? And it had a full length, it had a I mean, you guys have seen it, right? 3.5 minute, trailer, that trailer is. God of War got a tease. God of War got Kratos' voice for about 4 seconds. It's like 30 seconds long. It just says Ragnarok is coming. Right? I mean, it's amazing. Then the music and behind it, like just the feel of that, the trailer and all is a phenomenal trailer, but it's so short. And what does that tell you? Well, it tells you Horizon is coming first. Horizon is absolutely not I'm not saying like Horizon is more important than God of War, but technically, in terms of like release order, Horizon is more important. You need people to see Horizon. You need people to know what they're getting with it, and you need to sell that game. And then when that's over with, then you can start pushing God of War, right? I think that's generally how Sony has done it. Like when they pushed The Last of Us, they were pushing Ghost of Tsushima, but they weren't really pushing it as much until The Last of Us ended, and then it became just Ghost of Tsushima. Same thing with Miles. Now I think with Miles they kind of completely forgot they had Demon Souls, but Miles they promoted for like 3 months straight, right? And now that that's over, well, now they can do Returnal, now they can do Ratchet and Clank, now they can do Kena, whichever one kind of comes next, most likely. But again, like at a state of play, you can show gameplay, you can show release dates, you can show trailers for unannounced games. You can do so much. If they even want to do something wild, right? We know the rumor, or not even rumor, kind of confirmed thing that there's going to be more TV shows and movies based off of Sony properties. You could even, go wild, do that at a state of play. I mean, that would be very, very different. It would kind of it would be like an intermission kind of thing where it's like, okay, well, here's the games. Hey, let's show you really quickly. You guys love this game. We're doing a TV show on it. I mean, I don't think that's the worst idea in the world. I think that's actually a pretty solid idea. So a state of play would be amazing. I really do think we're going to get Horizon stuff relatively soon. I guess the only thing that kind of, stops a little bit or kind of hurts the argument is Ratchet and Clank. So the question is, do they really only push one kind of AAA game at a time? So like Miles, again, they pushed Miles. They stopped with everything else. They even stopped with Demon Souls, I would argue. I mean, they did like that Saturday state of play where they showed like a 9-minute thing of Demon. It got like 1 million views. It did really well. But, for the most part, they focused on Miles. Do they do that for Ratchet and Clank? Do they say, okay, until Ratchet and Clank is out, that is the game that we're pushing. When Ratchet and Clank is out, well, then Horizon, even if Returnal, and even if Kena, and even if, let's just throw in like a random other game, even if those other games are there as well, we're still going to focus on the next big one, which would be Horizon, because we can do the other stuff at the same time. But like big boy games, and I'm not, because by the way, I'm not slighting those games. Returnal, I think looks amazing. Kena Bridge of Spirits, I'm looking forward to that more than Ratchet and Clank, okay? So I'm not like saying like those games are not for like us. I am so pumped for those games. But Sony could probably handle promoting those at the same time that they're promoting a little bit, bigger sized games, right? It's really Ratchet and Clank. I guess you could throw Gran Turismo in there, but like, does Gran Turismo, because of the game it is, does that appeal to other gamers where it's like, well, we don't really need, we can show Gran Turismo, we can also show Horizon, it's okay, they're not going to take away from each other. I think that's fair. I think if you're going to get Gran Turismo, Horizon isn't going to like steal your money and be like, man, I don't have the money now to buy Gran Turismo. No. And same thing with Horizon. I don't think you're going to get Horizon, you see a gameplay presentation for Gran Turismo and you're like, dang it, I got to get that one, so let me just put my Horizon money towards that. I don't think that's how it'll work, right? So in my opinion, really, yeah, that's the thing that's going to hold it up, that could potentially hold up, is Ratchet and Clank. Do they focus on Ratchet and Clank solely first, and then when that game is out, but again, if that game comes out February or March, well, then after that, it's game on for Horizon, right? Even if Horizon comes out September, October, you can show a gameplay thing March, April, May, and then take a few months off, do another one, do a trailer. It's going to be fast. It's not like The Last of Us Part 2, where that game was announced like 3.5 years, I think it was, or 4 years before the game released, and they basically did like a trailer or a presentation once a year, and then as it got to like the final year, then they started showing way more. Skip to that part for Horizon. You know what I mean? Like, we're at that final year. Even if the game gets delayed a little bit, we're at the end. We're at that year where it's like, well, we don't need to show something, take a year off, show something else. No, it's going to be show something. Maybe we take a month. Maybe we take 2 months. Show something else. Take another month. Because it's going to be the big game. And if it's the only big game in the fall for Sony, trust me, they're going to push it very hard. And that's exciting. I mean, honestly, I don't love the way Miles did it, just because I was kind of tired of every single day seeing it. Now, I loved the game. I thought the game was phenomenal, but I just didn't love every single day seeing a new thing for Miles. I kind of felt like at some point you're kind of overshowing it. I don't want that, but at the same time, I can see that if you're like a die-hard, like if they did that for Uncharted, or if they did that for like, I don't know, just a really, like a Hogwarts Legacy for me, right? If they did that, like, would I really be all that much complaining? I mean, not really. I mean, you're getting a lot of, as long as it's not spoiling, as long as it's not like ruining the game, it's really fun to constantly get information, right? So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? When do you think we're going to see Horizon Forbidden West gameplay? Do you think it'll be a state of play in January and February? Do you think it'll be after Ratchet and Clank? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. Again, if you guys want to support me on my second channel, Podcast Now Plus. Plus is in the word, not the symbol. YouTube doesn't let you do the symbol. I'll leave a link for it in the description below, or of course, you can just look it up on YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.